Good afternoon. Please join the class of 2021 in rising and removing your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Please be seated. I would like to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for the Sycamore High School class of 2021. Every parent, relative, friend, and community member should be proud of these outstanding young people for their imminent graduation in these very different times. These unique circumstances have taught our students many life lessons that normally are not experienced by adolescents. What they overcame over the past 18 months will serve them well as they move forward in life and face new challenges. These students have emulated the highest standards of citizenship, character, and scholarship through the past 4 years. I, as a principal, am extremely proud of this group of young men and women. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce the Superintendent of the Sycamore Community School District, Mr. Steve Wilder.
Good afternoon. Before I begin my comments, I'd like to maintain a tradition that has been part of this graduation ceremony for some time. I'd like to start by recognizing members of the Board of Education who may be with us here this afternoon. If you are a member of the Board of Education, would you please stand and be recognized? Please join me in a round of applause. I think you're it. Next, in recognition of Memorial Day, I'd like to ask all of the current servicemen and women, along with any veterans, to please stand and be recognized for your service. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask any of our soon-to-be graduates who will be joining the military to please stand and also be recognized. Finally, for those who paid the ultimate sacrifice and died in service to our country, I'd like to ask us all to please take a moment of silence. Thank you. Welcome to all of you who've had a role in guiding these students to this point in their life. Congratulations and best wishes as you celebrate their accomplishments. It's important to me that I begin by recognizing how hard the last 15 months have been for all of us, but particularly our soon-to-be graduates. Some of the memories that you'll be sharing at future reunions and gatherings will unfortunately be missed opportunities and events that didn't happen. I was part of some difficult decisions that impacted all of you during this time. Please know how sorry I am for the circumstances that you endured, and that we never lost sight of the consequences of the decisions on all of you. It hasn't been easy, and I want to express my thanks for your perseverance, your dedication, and the focus that has helped you reach this point. You have been Spartans throughout. You have talked the talk, and you've walked the walk. Congratulations, you're almost there. Under ordinary circumstances, it would have been challenging for me to get to know all of you as seniors, as well as I would have liked this year. And during the pandemic, it's been impossible. As I thought about what to say about your class today, I feel terribly unqualified. Among your achievements, I want to highlight the orchestra finishing first and the music program finishing third in the IHSA Music Sweepstakes, the football team finishing undefeated and winning the conference, the boys soccer team getting a little revenge against Canelan and winning their conference, the number of Illinois State scholars among you, the millions of dollars in scholarships and grants, and the basketball team sweeping the first national challenge this year against DeKalb. How about a round of applause for those accomplishments? And there are many others that I've missed. Congratulations on all of them this year and throughout your educational career. Today is truly a crowning achievement to all of them. Although I did know you as well as I would have liked, I want to share a few words of advice. One of the questions I've received over the years from soon-to-be graduates is, what should I do next? In many ways, your life up to this point has been pretty scripted. You've gone to school, participated in activities, and maybe had a job. Now you're on the verge of forging out on your own. Some of you may know exactly what you want to do, while others may be a little uncertain of that next step. My advice in this situation is always the same. Follow your passion. Making time to do what you enjoy is easy, and you're probably already pretty good at it. In this world, there are more career opportunities than there have ever been in history. And there will be new careers we've never even thought of in the next couple of years. In fact, you may have a part in creating them. If you follow your passion, you'll find your future, and you will never feel like it's work. Chase your passion, and you will find the place where you were meant to be. One of the other questions I've received over the years is, what if I make the wrong decision? I have really good news for you. We all make mistakes every day. No one is perfect. I think we often recognize that in others, but we hold ourselves to a higher standard. Try something new, and don't ever be afraid to fail. Take risks, try something new, and step outside of your comfort zone. Most, although not all, mistakes can be easily resolved. Don't let the fear of the unknown be an obstacle. Bottle the excitement you have today and let it fuel your future. And finally, enjoy today. You are completing a journey that has taken most of your life, and you persevered through some of the most challenging circumstances than most, if not any other graduating class has ever faced before. Take time to celebrate. Share the spotlight with your peers. Thank your parents, your mentors, and everyone who helped you to get to this point today. Life will continue to throw more challenges at you and after you leave here today. Take time to celebrate where you are right now before you embark on your next journey. As you start that journey, don't ever forget that you are a Spartan. If there's one thing I've learned this year, it is once a Spartan, always a Spartan. Congratulations, best wishes in the next chapter of your life, and go Spartans.
Our next guest speaker is the Sycamore School District Board of Education President, Mr. Jim Dombeck.
Congratulations, class of 2021. Somehow those words, although traditional, just don't seem adequate under the circumstances. Certainly no one anticipated that nearly a full third of your high school career would take place under the auspices of COVID. You've had to endure isolation and disconnection, coupled with tectonic shifts in technology and systems delivery, both within academics and within society as a whole. The whole landscape changed for you, and it seemed to change, I think, almost instantaneously. That's not the way it should be. That's not the way we planned it. It's not the way we wanted it to be, and I'm fairly certain it's not the way you planned it or wanted it to be either. Unfortunately, the hard lesson learned here is not a new one. Things don't always go the way we plan them. Life has a habit of being unpredictable. The United States Poet Laureate, Joy Harjo, has a poem, and it's called "Once the World Was Perfect." And I commend it to you, and I suggest you read it when you get the opportunity. But the poem starts out, "Once the world was perfect, and we were happy in that world. Then we took it for granted." And the poem goes on to tell a tale of how people began to take life for granted and assume things would always be perfect in their world. And as they lived their lives, slowly but surely, as Harjo says in her poem, the demons crept in. And before you know it, the world was in darkness, and each person was stumbling around in the darkness. And the darkness was so severe that the people started bumping into one another. They couldn't even see each other anymore. And then, in the midst of that darkness, an amazing thing occurred. Somebody did a favor for somebody else bumping around in the darkness. In the poem, that person gave the person they bumped into a blanket. And that one act of kindness created a spark. And the spark ignited a light in the darkness. And the people came together, and working together, they built a ladder. And when they built the ladder, they erected it, and they climbed out of the darkness and back into the light. I hope you're one of those persons who can create a spark. One of those persons who can help build a ladder to take us and yourself out of the darkness and into the light. So despite the fact that things did not really go as planned, congratulations are still in order. Congratulations on a job well done in the face of adversity. Congratulations to your parents as well. They've been called upon this year to do things that they've never been called upon to do in the past. They've worked hard right along with you, behind the scenes, supporting you in your efforts to get to this point, just as they did throughout your whole academic career. Your parents deserve your thanks today. Your friends and extended family also deserve your thanks. They all put up with you and backed you and helped you to achieve all these years. You can probably all think of a time or two when you really relied on friends or family to help get you through and to lead you to this day. You owe a debt of gratitude, I think, to the administrators, the teachers, and the staff at Sycamore, at the school district. They help to enable you to achieve. They help to give you the tools to ignite the spark. They help to give you the tools to build the ladder. You are also lucky to be living in the community of Sycamore. I know that some of you may not feel that way, but trust me, the community of Sycamore sees all of you as a future resource. They believe in you. They believe that you can build that ladder to get us out of the darkness. In fact, they look to you to do that. And they back that with their time and their talent and their treasure. It's not so in all communities. Last but not least, you really deserve a pat on the back. You've worked hard to get here. I hope that you don't become fixated on the question of why. Why did this happen to me, to our class, to our experience? Instead, I hope you focus on the question of what. What's the best way for me to realize my full potential going forward? What's the best way for me to start a spark and to help build that ladder? Life in general, global pandemics aside, is ever evolving. We're forced to forge ahead into the unknown and do the best we can. It's not just the Sycamore way. It's the American way. It's the human way. We're an adaptable species that always finds a way to flourish in all kinds of environments and emergencies. Class of 2021, on behalf of myself and my fellow school board members, Steve Nelson, Chris Wren, Eric Jones, Julene Davey, James Chilo, and Michael DeVito, we all wish you great joy and success and the best and brightest of futures.
No, I forgot something.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce the student speaker representing the Sycamore High School class of 2021, Ms. Catherine Theriault.
Good evening, staff, families, and class of 2021. First off, I would like to say sorry to my family, as I didn't really tell them I was going to do this. But thanks to the Daily Chronicle and my dad's detective skills, they learned yesterday. So shout out to Glenn and Jen, who always provided the best snacks, let me stay at school longer than I was at home, and had the best stories to share. It makes sense why my friends always wanted to hang out with you instead of me. Mason and Ella, I'm specifically calling you out right now. But enough about me. This day is for all of us. We get to wrap up the past 13 years of schooling. Isn't it crazy how our entire childhood has been measured by the amount of classrooms we've been in, the number of letters on a report card, and now we even measure how far apart we sit in school. Our whole lives have been measured. And now I want to try and fit our 1,991,520 minutes of our high school experience into about 3. In the wise words of Randy Zeitler, let's plug and chug. Doesn't it feel like just yesterday that we sat in the middle school cafeteria watching Evan Thompson get his mullet shaved off? Just me? After that, we saw our first glimpse of high school during the annual 8th grade tour. And as the upperclassmen weaved us in and out of hallways, up and down staircases till we were dizzy in the head, we smiled ear to ear thinking of the fun memories we could create. We had no idea what memories would lie ahead at SHS, but I think we can agree we have some good ones and some bad ones that we can pass down for generations, and only our class can tell them. But moving on to freshman year. We all walked in with new backpacks, squeaky clean shoes, and outfits sure to wow everyone we walked past. We waited for the seniors to wink at us, as Taylor Swift had promised. Instead, we got fire alarms going off in the middle of class from the wonderful smoke in the boys' locker room. As May rolled around, we had officially survived the bottom of the food chain. It was time to move up. And as sophomore year came, so did the cold weather. The polar vortex that took us out of school for a week felt like a dream, finally a vacation. Looking back, it's a little sad that we thought that was a long time. But in between the wind and the snow, I can still hear the jingle of keys as one by one we received our license. And I can still feel my frozen hands as the kids parked next to me used their student IDs to scrape the ice off their windshields. But as the jingle of keys faded out and the ice melted, so did our last normal year. On one of the first days of junior year, Miss White told us, "It's gonna feel like you're drinking out of a fire hydrant." And she was right, until that metaphorical fire hydrant burst and flooded the town. I don't think any of us were prepared for that cursed Friday the 13th. But we kept going as a few weeks later, amidst Google Meet calls, Google Form check-ins, and pets walking over the power buttons of our Chromebooks, we sat on floors and beds and at desks at home, finishing what was left of the craziest year of our lives. To be honest, I couldn't tell you when junior ended. But then, just like that, no notice at all, senior year was here. But we made the best of it because, say it all with me, these are unprecedented times. These 4 years most definitely weren't what we imagined, and it most definitely wasn't like High School Musical. But as we sit here together one last time as a class, I want to ask you how you measured your years here at SHS. No longer should we care about the grades or the number of classes, but rather the people and the memories. As the song Seasons of Love goes, 525,600 minutes, how do you measure a year? Did you measure it by sunsets, by football games or cups of coffee? Did you measure it by the number of cats Noah Yates has, or the number of lines Matt Sharp has memorized? Maybe by the number of dances Kylie Ryder has performed, or the number of emails you've ignored from your teachers. Sorry, teachers. Even the number of lighting cues Mason Dukes has made, or the number of biostats Abby Carter still has left to do. Dare I say the amount of kills the menaces to society got in Water Warriors? For me, I will forever measure my years here by the laughs, the friendships, and the opportunities Sycamore has given me. On behalf of the class of 2021, I would like to thank all the teachers, parents, and group chats that have gotten us to this point. We wouldn't have been able to do it without you. And now, as we live here today, most of us will be headed in different directions. But never forget the memories we made here together and the people who you used to measure your 4 years. And how could I forget? As Mr. Majerus told us our freshman year, to pick up those gold coins and keep your receptors up. Over and out, Psycho High, the class of 2021.
It's now my privilege to introduce the salutatorian of the Sycamore High School class of 2021, Mr. Andrew Donahoe. And now it is my privilege to introduce the valedictorian of the Sycamore High School class of 2021, Ms. Vani Subramoni.
Got to get my hat on. Okay. Good afternoon. My goal for the speech was to stray away from the overused phrase, unprecedented times. We all know about the uncertainty of this past year and even the months going forward. For all of us, this was a year of loss. Loss of a classmate, time with family and friends, a normal way of life, hope. And I'd like to take the time to recognize the frustration and pain that I know many of us felt when we saw the words canceled and postponed in conjunction with our favorite football games, our band concerts, and our orchestra shows, all of our lasts. But today, standing physically before you after months of Google Meets and awkward breakout rooms where the best icebreaker was, do you know what we're supposed to be doing right now? I'd like to speak about our grit, the power of this class to endure despite. When the physical school was shut down, we moved forward just as we did in the years before, but with a bit more missing work. We looked for the small joys, virtual concerts, senior nights, even though they weren't exactly what we dreamed about. Some of us worked on the front lines of an actual global pandemic. Many of us found ways to volunteer, raise money, give time to others, do something good in a time that was so dark. And I suppose it is this power to endure that brought us, somehow, even closer together. Early in the pandemic, people across Italy found their way to their balconies and found joy singing together, with a sense of unity, though they were physically separate. Just like that, we built connections with each other through Instagram group chats and made unlikely friends through virtual club meetings. We managed to reconnect to the friends and teachers we hadn't spoken to in years at our elementary school reunions. And we compared school pictures to decide which of us had the biggest glow up. But in 13 years, more than hairstyles and height can change. We watched each other struggle and grow into better, more confident people. We inspired each other, and we found all of this closure, all of these lasts, during a year when nothing was guaranteed. We kept the strength of the class of 2021 community despite. I truly believe that it is working through difficulties that makes us who we are, makes us build communities and relationships with those who've experienced the same, makes us create a sense of togetherness. And after the fact, we are left to celebrate our ability to endure with these communities to which we belong. I'd like to end my speech in the best way I know how, by quoting a song. Stephen Paulus's "The Road Home" is a song that my choir sings every year at our last concert. In the unlikely situation that I was trapped on a deserted island and could only have 5 songs, it would be one of them. And that's because of one line: "There is no such beauty as where you belong." To some of us, the place we belong is on the football field, being cheered on by our peers, half of whom are unsure of what a down is, but still there to celebrate. To others, it's the auditorium, where we've sung and danced in show-stopping musicals. And for some of us, the place we belong is in our childhood home, laughing alongside family and friends. But to all of us, no matter how many years we've lived alongside one another, or how many times we've made jokes about leaving here, it is the uniting experiences we've shared, especially those of enduring this past, difficult year, that makes Sycamore the place to which we will all always belong. It has been an honor to spend these past many years, especially this last one, laughing and growing alongside all of you. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2021.
I would now like to present the 2021 graduating class of Sycamore High School. Graduates, as you walk across the stage, you can remove your mask for your pictures. Please put them back on when you go to your seat. Presenting the diplomas will be Sycamore Sycamore School District Board of Education President, Mr. Jim Dombeck. As is a tradition of Sycamore High School, the senior class president, Sylar Larson, will read the names of the graduates. Our first diploma will be presented to the family of senior Samantha Rose King. Samantha passed away on August 19th, 2020. She was the captain of the 2021 cheerleading team and is loved and adored by her team and her classmates. Though losing school opportunities during COVID is different, nothing is more difficult than the loss of a child. Samantha is always with us in spirit, and we want to continue to celebrate her life by having her family receive her Sycamore High School diploma. And as we always say, Samantha, once a Spartan, always a Spartan. It's my pleasure to present the first diploma of the class of 2021 to the family of Samantha Rose King. It's my pleasure to present the second diploma to the class president of the class of 2021, Sylar Patrick Larson.
All right, I'm just going to take a quick drink here. We'll get the show on the road. All right. I now present the senior class of 2021. Tanasia Lene Adams. Hunter Charles Alexander. Joel Michael Aluli. Kevin Amezquita. Gavin Jacob Anderson. Kimari S. Anderson. Thomas John Bainey II. Megan Rose Baker. Hayden James Edward Beck. Reese Madison B. Dakota Michael Begay. Nolan Arthur Benson. Colton Richard Berg. Sarah Ruth Byer. Tyrese Bibbs. Lily Ann Bickley. Jackson Matthew Binder. Kaylee Nicole Binns. Logan Burr. Anthony Vincent Biondo. Justin Michael Blanken. Eric Austin Books. Carissa Ann Boss. Kayla L. Bowling. Joseph Hunter Bowman. Timothy Nicholas Braun. Alan Jared Brown. Dylan W. Breyer. Zachary Bumpus. Aaliyah Madison Burnham. Joanna Stephanie Burnham. Ethan James Buse. Yahir Caballero. Cole David Cady. Evelina Catherine Callahan. Jack Knudsen Cambier. Carson Cole Campbell. Jesse Lynn Campbell. Annie Miller. Anna Sophia Carpenter. Caden Edward Carrier. Kayla Ann Carroll. Abigail Grace Carter. Christopher Allen Carter. Tyler Reed Carter. Liliana Nave Salcino. P. Clark. Jared Russell Clausen. Marcy Jean Cliff. Caitlin Ann Klukas. Aiden Alexander Connery. Tabitha R. Copenhaver. Madeline DeVito. Aiden G. Cortinez. Tiana N. Creek. Paul Christopher Crumbleham. Nicholas Matthew Sear. Hannah Christine Davis. Charles Dean Davidson. Zeynep B. Demir. Deontay Dennis. Cassandra Lorraine Dix. Andrew Robert Dono. Mason Troy Dukes. Olivia Lynn Dunbar. Tyler Ray Ekstrom. Justin Richard Elliott. Lindsay Nicole Emmett. Abigail Marie England. Samuel Philip Achen. Sam Henry Fallaber. Morgan Grace Fiddler. Hayden Elaine Fisher. Thomas Richard Fisher. Leslie Maria Gallegos. Ariana Faith Galto. Quentin George Ganzi. Himano Garcia. Jeffrey Wade Gasso. Skylar Renee Gates. Maya Renee Gager. Landon Michael Gemmel. Jared R. Gleesman. Maritza Susanna Gomez. Caleb Ryan Goodman. Abby Elizabeth Gold. Jenna Joan Gower. Donald Albert Gramer IV. Maxwell Robert Griffey. Isaac Manuel Guevara. Miles Thomas Gabora. Kyle N. Gutierrez. Emma Catherine Harden. Catherine Michelle Hobb. Ian Christopher Hoig. Benjamin Edward Herman. Mason Hill. Kelly M. Holfeld. Summer Hollis. Devin Rose Hood. Kyle Richard Horn. Lillian Bijou Horn. Jacob Daniel Hall. Mitch E. Hunter. Isabella Maria Ibarra. Isabella Breyer Jackson. Justice Dre Jewison. Abigail May Johnson. Ella Jane Johnson. Ethan Wayne Jones. Sadeh Elizabeth Jovanovich. Charles R. Kaza Jr. Allison Kathleen Kiner. Cody James Kelly. Ryan Paul Kessler. Harmony Faith Clausen. Faith Elizabeth Clem. John Levitt Klusterman. Rachel Ann Klump. Derek Gregory Kamichiak. Lauren Michelle Kamichiak. Ava Marie Knapp. Dalton L. Knight. Christian Miles Kuselis. Morgan Joe Kowitsky. Anthony Sam Lacerba, Jr. Noah Anthony Lane. Christian Thomas Lanen. David Edward Lane. Mallory Paige Larson. Matthew P. Larson. Madeline Therese Lathrop. John David Lawrence. Lauren Marie Lee. Grace Riley Leonards. Melissa Karen Larole. Cameron Noel Lewis. Samantha Nicole Lind. Sophia Louise Linson. Ian Patrick McAllister. Giselle Macias. Reese Elizabeth Manus. Jesse Lewiston Mansky. Thera Martinez. Maxim Gregory Matthew. Megan Delaney McConaughey. Victoria Monette McKinney. Rachel Catherine McMillan. Kaylee Lynn Mecklenburg. Ruby Etzel Mendez. Caroline Grace Menzer. Karsten James Menzer. Brian Imawan Michael. Gina Rose Mistano. James Dale Mitchell. Will Robert Nally. Aiden Clark Nearing. Carter Bradley Nepple. Jennifer Nee. Dakota Ireland Neela. Mariah Dominique Norris Johnson. Tyler Cole Norton. Blake Anton Nowinski. Mary Eilish O'Brien. Jason Ryan O'Donnell. Aiden Keith O'Higgins. Damon Alexander Olson. Lauren Sandra Adi. Ariana Leo Para. Caleb Thomas Paulson. Kyle Kenneth Paulson. Jaden Riley Peck. Logan Jordan Pena. Diamond Mary Pennington. Rose Olivia Peterson. Anthony Eck Peterson. Jeremy Michael Peterson. Carl August Peterson. Ainsley Catherine Pettit. Kylie Joe Petschow. Joseph James Pianoski. Gracie Emma Pincombe. Thomas Joseph Pitstick. Bailey Lynn Polk. Griffin Scott Polly. Jason Christopher Podorf. Emily Rose Preble. Camille Joanna Predis. Fisher Matthew Ratliff. Adam Scott Reed. Jacob Zachary Rydell. Anna Marie Riello. Jason Edward Reinick. Mackenzie Ray Reeser. Matthew Jacob Ratuerto. Trevor Charles Rexrow. Gunnar Robert Rydell. Kendall Nicole Rink. Nathan Andrew Rissman. Lainey Kathleen Roberts. Emily Joanna Rodriguez Castro. Kayla Marie Roeder. Sarah Jennifer Roller. Jimmy Romero. Ava Marjorie Ross. Kylie Renee Ryder. Tea Saidia Sahin. Estefania Saldivar. Robert Dwayne Sapita. Sarah Elizabeth Scarpace. Ivy Carolyn Schneck. Evan Michael Schroeder. Emma Elaine Schumacher. Avery Wileen Scott. Jacob Christopher Sears. Lincoln Segato. Chloe Lynn Sensor. Elizabeth Ann Sharp. Matthew George Sharp. Dylan Guy Schumann. Noelle Olivia Simone. Dylan James Skelton. Victoria Lynn Slowick. Jaden Paige Slutz. Lauren Kelly Smid. Chelsea Ann Smith. Samuel James Sprinkle. Samantha Nicole Storm. Brianna Ruth Stover. Gretchen M. Strathman. Nathan Robert Stringer. Bonnie Annaporni Subramoni. Adam Michael Swank. Brooke Elizabeth Swanson. Jordan Thomas Swanson. Alexander Sean Taylor. Megan L. Taylor. Erin Crystal Templin. Catherine Claire Theriault. Stefan Albert Thomas. Elena Marie Thompson. Evan Scott Thompson. Michael Clayton Thompson. Caleb Michael Tonovitz. Joseph Michael Townsend. Aiden Xavier Tran. Allison Kathleen Troy. Caroline Rose Trisna. Sergey S. Uzanyan. Vanessa Lee Vilichkov. Courtney Gianna Boyd. Lee Fatima Frankie Walker. Jack Lee Ward. Reese Elizabeth Ward. Aurora Ann Weber. Morgan Ray Weath. Reagan Catherine Wesley. Kelly Deanne White. Bailey Michael Wigwam. Rylan Christine Wigg. Zachary John Wilkinson. Margaret Mary Williams. Elias Alexander Wilson. Emma Grace Winters. Riley John Wittenberg Mime. Anastasia Noel Wolf. Maxwell James Ray. Noah Robert Yates. Hannah Isabella Yetter. Cheyenne Lanai Marie Young. Rena K. Yount. Anthony Zam. Zoe Michelle Zamanek. Aiden Michael Zebrin. Jaden Anthony Zintek. And last but not least, Anthony Reed Zollers. Give it up for your 2021 graduates. All right, I'll make this quick because they want us out here. Thank you to everyone, students, faculty, parents, everyone for making these last 4 years memorable and so enjoyable. But now it's our time to move on. Students, move your tassel from the right. Let me find mine. To the left. There you go. You're done.
field house, they'd all be jammed up. Everybody starts to go under real garage. They all still